Hey, I'm Mechanical Engineer, and this is my indoor greenhouse. Having a small indoor greenhouse is a great way to grow some fruit and vegetables over the winter or give your plants an early start before the planting season. And probably one of the coolest things about the indoor greenhouse is that it has its own grow lights built into it, so you don't even have to set it anywhere close to natural sunlight. But enough talk, without further ado, I'll show you guys how to build an indoor greenhouse. To begin, you'll want to decide how large you want the base of your box to be. For me, I just want to be large enough so I can fit 2 of my tomato pots side by side. That means they'll be about 10 inches by 23 inches. And once we have those dimensions, we can go ahead and cut out 2 boards out of plywood. Now these 2 boards that we just cut out will serve as the top and the bottom of the greenhouse box. We'll now want to take the board that will serve as the base of the box, and we'll want to cut out 4 1.5-inch squares from each of the corners. This will allow the legs to poke through and also make the box adjustable, but more on that later on. Next, I'll take a 3/4 by 3.5-inch board and build a perimeter around both pieces. And don't worry, if your board is a slightly different size, it really won't make that much difference. Just like this. So now we want to take the top of the greenhouse that we just built, and we're going to want to line the inside of it with something reflective. I will be using a space blanket because I think it will work the best. So we'll cut out a piece that fits, apply glue to the inside, and then put in the reflective blanket. And feel free to add a few staples here and there to hold it all in place until the glue dries. Here are 2 light sockets that I got at the hardware store. And if you look on the bottom, there are small threaded rings that you can use to mount them. So I went out and bought 2 3/8 bolts that fit into those rings. So we're going to take a support piece that fits into the light fixture and put both bolts into it, one facing in each direction. And we're going to put them in 1 inch away from the center point. So for instance, one bolt will be sitting here and the other bolt will be sitting about right here. Just like this. Now we can run some 4 or 5-inch wire to both sockets, mount the sockets to the support piece, and then mount the whole assembly into the light box, making sure that there's plenty of space in between your light bulb and the bottom of the box. Now comes the time to wire it. Now I'm not going to be installing a power switch into mine because as soon as mine's finished, I'm just going to plug it into a timer to control when the lights come on and off. But if you want to install a switch, now is the perfect opportunity to do that. So now you'll take 1 wire from each socket. It doesn't really matter which wires, just 1 from each socket. Put them together and cap them off with a wire nut. And do the same thing for the other 2 wires. Next we'll take an extension cord, cut off the outlet part, strip the 2 wires, drill a hole in the side of the box big enough for the cord to fit through, and then connect 1 power wire to 1 group of socket wires and the other wire to the other group. Just like that. And then lastly for wiring, I put a few staples into the back to make sure the cord doesn't go anywhere and it won't get yanked out. And I was very careful to make sure both staples went over the cord and not through it. So now it's finally time to put the 2 halves together. Here I have a 1.5-inch wood board that fits perfectly into the holes in the base plate that we cut earlier. So I'm going to take the board and I'm going to cut it into 4 3-foot and 3-inch long pieces that will act as the legs. Just like this. Now I started at the bottom of the boards and I drew 8 lines 3 inches apart from each other. I'm now going to take a drill bit vise and drill a 1/2-inch hole in the center of each line. That way we'll have peg holes and we can adjust how far away the plants are from the light. Next we'll take a 1/2-inch dowel rod and cut into 4 2.5-inch sections to serve as pegs. And you don't have to, but I like to round the edges off the end of my pegs so they're a little easier to put in. With the legs now done, we can attach them to the inside of the light box. We'll take the side of the leg that doesn't have any holes drilled in it, set it inside the corner of the light box, making sure the holes are facing forward, and then we'll take a nail gun and nail it in place. Now that the legs are on, we can slip them into the holes on the bottom shelf, decide how high we want the bottom shelf to be, and then peg it in place. Next, I'll screw in my 2 grow lights. For grow lights, I'm just using 2 Philips plant lights that I picked up at the hardware store for about $6 each. And finally, all that's left to do is to put in our plants and plug it in. And with that, your indoor greenhouse is now complete. There's 2 things in particular that I really like about this setup. Number 1 is that the shelves are adjustable. So when your plants are really tiny, you can start them off at the top shelf, and as they grow, you can slowly start bumping them down. And number 2 is the height. Not only is it an indoor greenhouse, but it can also double over as a standing table. And there you have it, my indoor greenhouse. But hey, thank you so much for you guys watching. I hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did, please feel free to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll see you next Friday.
Thank you for watching, and please feel free to subscribe.